Welcome to the show, everyone. I am so excited because my first guest has been on with me for like 14, 15 years, maybe more. She was originally a listener. I have with me Kedzie Morgan, and Kedzie loves to talk about water. We're going to talk a little bit about what it is that she does. We're live on Facebook. I want to say hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We're going to share the show later on. Kedzie, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do. Go ahead.
Carol, I'm so glad to be back.
I'm so glad you're
I've been physically
here.
gone for a while.
long time.
And you know that I love helping people get super, super hydrated. So we're going to talk about, sometimes I call it magic water, sometimes we call it activated water, and that's really what we're going to focus on. So yes, as a practitioner, I care about people's cellular health and a lot of other areas, body, mind, spirit. And we're going to narrow down to how this very unique scientific water activation process changes everything.
She loves our listeners. She absolutely loves
really
them. She loves to connect with you, and she gives 2 gallons of this water to everybody that she talks to. And the reason why she wants you to try it, this is something that you have to, feel. It's not even say you taste, but it's feel as well. It's amazing water, and there's a story behind it, so I'm going to let you tell the story first.
Okay, so your origin really is Chernobyl in the mid-'80s, and when all the people around Chernobyl, when the nuclear reactor, I should say, melted, they had to remove the people for safety for a 150-mile radius, something like that. And one group of, I say, lucky people, and making us lucky because of our scientists figuring out why those people that were relocated to a mountainous region did not get the cancers and deaths, and they got healthier and healthier. So it was discovered that the water naturally occurring coming out of the mountains, that everybody in the entire valley, whether they were generational or newly relocated there, were super healthy, living very long lives, the generational, and then the new people were becoming healthier and healthier. So our scientist, being Russian and a nuclear physicist, actually showed after 5 years of getting samples and so forth what it was about this amazing water that the earth and everything else created. So he took about 25 years, tremendous science, to create a replicator that we can have as long as we sort of meet someone who knows about it or find out about it.
Like Kedzie.
And I've been dedicated for, it's almost 20 years
20 years
20
to
years.
helping people, because a lot of people, they are dealing with issues that they just can't shake, right?
Well,
It happened to you.
Yes, and the core of this whole thing is the way that we were born. We were born to realign water molecules. Water molecules love to be clumpy, chaotic, and magnetized to themselves, which makes it very difficult for water to enter through the membrane of the cell, which is a barrier. And so our scientists discovered with other scientists how water, they finally put to rest exactly how water enters through the membrane of the cell. They always used to just say, oh, it happens through osmosis, one pressure, another pressure, and it just goes in. Well, it's much more than that, but yet it's now simplified so that everybody can actually understand it. And so this water, that we were born with a mechanism of, it's a loop. So the water is chaotic. The body, when it's young, is able to realign water molecules, making them like floating strings of pearls, to allow those molecules in a single file, we call it single file aligned water, to enter through the membranes, billions, with a B, of molecules per second. Therefore, not only bringing the hydration itself, but allowing cells to communicate cell to cell with each other, because it has to happen in water, and then to exit. So it's a delivery system of also nutrition, information, hydration, and then it has to exit through, and it has to stay single file. Imagine it reclumping inside the cell. Well, that wouldn't be very good either. So it's a loop. And then, of course, right around the time we stop growing, and there's a certain time frame that we're vital and healthy, and it declines. So as we age, we don't have the ability to realign water very quickly. So we become they've shown that places where water is abundant, we're not talking clean or not, just abundant, that the cells are 75% dehydrated. So we only have 25% hydration, and we're drinking water like crazy, especially in Arizona, and we're not really hydrated.
That's what's true about that, really. Everybody thinks they're hydrated because they're drinking water, but you're really not. Now, we've got our lines open here, and we're going to let everyone call throughout the rest of the show. She's going to give 2 gallons of water to everyone that calls in. So our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. You got to try the water. You know, when I don't drink the water, I get very
When
dry.
is that, Carol?
Because
Please.
for a long time, I didn't touch this water, right? You know that.
Yes, I do.
But then my dog got sick, and I decided I wanted to try it because, you know, with your dog, it's your dog, you'll do anything, right? But so I figured, you know, if it worked on him, I figured I should really try it. Well, I mean, you can see my hands are kind of soft like a little baby's tushy, you know. And the thing is that it is a difference, and you need to try it. You must try it. That's why she wants you to just call in here, and she's gonna let everyone call throughout the rest of the show. You're in the medical field yourself. You've been in it for how many, 40 some odd years?
Mm-hmm.
And so she's gonna talk to you a little about what you're going through, but you gotta try this water. So 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Go ahead.
So we also spray it. It's antiviral, antibacterial, and even antifungal. So we use it on our skin. We use it on our food. I love fish, but I don't like,
The
you know, I'm
smell.
from a coastal state, and here it smells pretty fishy.
Mhm.
So all you do is you literally spray it, and all of that bacteria, which is actually the smell, is gone before you cook it. It is amazing. So there are many, many ways. I have a horse. I only use the water on any cuts, bruises, bumps, bites, whatever. It's an incredible tool. It's a first aid. It's an amazing thing to have. You have so much power, and you become so hydrated, and your brain is 85% water, so we got to save the brain.
And here's what's really great about it too. It's an easy thing to do. It's not like, you know, and by the way, it's not reverse osmosis. It's not anything like that. Tell them about the picture really quick,
Right,
because
so
I got to say it again because we're going to go.
Basically, you are using the best water that you have. It's not a filter. It doesn't touch physically the water. The activation bombards the water with certain scientific frequencies, changing the molecular alignment and other things. But you have to start with good water first.
Right, decent, well, you know, like spring water or something
Spring
like
water,
that.
clean water, even
Right.
RO.
Mhm.
But I teach people about which water is the best.
And ladies and gentlemen, it is amazing what it does. And I've actually seen, when you look at the picture and as it's doing it, you can sort of see after
Like
a
a little
while.
whirlpool.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so you can see it actually happening. So this is different. This is single file aligned water. It's very different. And let me tell you something. She's been coming on the show for over 14 years, giving everybody water and helping them with their health, helping them get hydrated. And it is a difference. So our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Everyone gets 2 gallons of the water because you got to try it. What else do you want to say about it before we go?
Well, there's another piece that I love to share, which is protection from our radiation, from our Wi-Fi world. So that's a whole other connected piece to the technology from the same scientist. And this is all published, peer-reviewed scientific information. It's not fly-by-night. It is the gold standard. I know there's a lot out there that people can sort of, I call them fancy doodads. These are not fancy. They work in terms of we can prove that, show that, and there's a lot of science behind it.
So you like to call it a layering, like, you know, when you a lot
It's a
of
layered
people don't
approach
realize.
to protection.
Right. You don't realize when you're on your phones and you've got these televisions around you, computers, and all of this stuff,
Your routers,
and you're
your
not
car.
feeling very well all the time, there could be a really good reason.
Well, I just heard something that 50% of preteens are manic because of screen time. And that's a whole other thing. It's not only the radiation, but it's the time they're looking at a screen. So there's many layers of this problem, and so we layer up to protect our body.
You got to try the water. You're going to love it. And she gives 2 gallons to every single person. She loves talking to all our listeners, to everyone who calls in. 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100.